Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's all right. So welcome aboard, everyone. Hope that everybody's all right. We are at the Saturday edition of our live show already. Time goes fast. And of course, this is a show about radio. We talk about anything radio in general, but lots of shortwave, medium wave, and long wave mostly. But every aspect, actually, today we have a few things that we'll talk about. Basically, we talk and have fun with a great bunch of people. My name is Gilles. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, northeast part of North America. And we, of course, will tune the bands and have we got a little bit of tidbits to talk about that are coming up. It's going to be a pretty active week, actually. And it's going to be, so there's going to be a lot of little stuff to tune around if you want to do radio and there's going to be tidbits for everybody. And of course, we listen to the radio. We have fun tuning around to shortwave radio, listening to distant signals coming out of, far away places. There's a beautiful chat room that you can join if you actually have a Gmail account that you can join and say hi. Always nice to have you here. You can say hello through the email if you want. This is going to be, this is always fun to have people saying hello with, telling us where they are and sharing the passion of radio together. So if you can join in, people are really, really fun. They're really a lot of very respectful. This is a place where, you know what, everybody's welcome. They're just having fun. There's no pretentious. There's no, I'm better than you. You're better than me. I got a better radio. Or you don't care. You listen to the radio. We have fun. That's all. And we also have a Facebook group, official SWL channel, which is in the same thing. Basically, it's in the same direction. A great bunch of guys sharing about radio, talking about radio, and we'll have a few questions and a few comments also on that with some of the things I've seen also. It's a great place to be, once again, where you share what you're listening to and post pictures of your radios and whatever. And, it's just a fun place. I think this and the Facebook group together are just a wonderful place to feel like you're welcome, whatever radio you own, whatever aspect of radio you like, whether you're a amateur radio operator and been an expert in radio for 50 years, or you're just new to the hobby and learning the ropes. Well, you know what? This is the best place for that. So it's really a lot of fun to have wonderful people like you guys sharing the passion of radio. Talking about email, there's Richard Lemke saying hello. And he says, Happy Father's Day to everybody that are dads out there. That's coming up, of course, tomorrow. So he says, good times roll. Hello to Jill and Paul the cat. So welcome aboard, Richard, in St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. Nice to have you on board, my friend. We also have our chat room, which is a lot of fun. So if you're not in the chat, by the way, and you want to join, want to say hello, let us know where you are. Give us a little bit of details. It doesn't even have to be long. Just quick hello is enough. Official shortwave radio at gmail.com. It's all the words complete. Official shortwave radio at gmail.com. Matt, MDK2, nice to have you on board from Denver, Colorado. His ladder, he left his ladder out for his 2-meter, 6-meter antenna. So too late to go rescue it from the rain. It happens. We sometimes forget. Michael Thompson, nice to have you on board from New Jersey and to NLQ. Bobby Burgess, nice to have you on board from Morgan City, Louisiana. Skip Array, nice to have you on board. Skip and 2EI from South Jersey. Salut TVDXer, ça va bien? J'espère que tu vas bien toi aussi. From not very far from Montreal. Rob, nice to have you on board from a 106 degrees Fahrenheit Phoenix, Arizona. We have David, KJ4CMY from Central Georgia. And nice to have you here. Waiting for Tropical Storm Claudette. Hoping we have no storm damage. Yeah, let's hope so. It's true. You forget about it, and I haven't talked about it much, but it's hurricane season has started. I think it was on June 1st. And of course, there's a net that you can listen to, which is the Hurricane Watch Net. And usually they're active on 7268 in the nighttime, 14325 in the daytime. Let me just fetch, there's a website also for this. So when the net activates, Hurricane Watch Net. I think this is so hwn.org. And well, they tell you when the net is active, so it's not active at this time. Usually the net for the Hurricane Watch Net gets active when a hurricane threatens land. So here's the link. Keep that because they're predicting a pretty active hurricane season. And there is, of course, still many months left as the hurricane season just started. So it's a great way to keep in touch, know what's happening. And it's really nice. It's really nice to have that available, and all the volunteers that will be there. You get live weather reports from stations and from people that are within or in the storm, and it's really interesting to listen. So check it out. It's not active right now, but usually the two frequencies they use is 7268 kilohertz lower sideband and 14325 kilohertz upper sideband. And that when there's hurricanes and tropical storms, another net that you should listen to, 14300 kilohertz upper sideband, which is the maritime net. When the weather threatens, since it's a maritime net and there's a lot of stations on the Gulf Coast and all along the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, there's often a lot of talk about what's happening with the tropical storms and hurricanes. So I think that's also worth monitoring in the afternoons, usually here local afternoons, which it might even be active right now, 14300, which is the maritime net. What else do we have? TVDXer, what do I think of the Sanjian HDR-14 portable HD radio, which is this little radio right here? So I purchased this, first of all, because I wanted to test out and see what's available in HD radio around Montreal. That was my first, the first reason I purchased it. It turns out that I also started listening. I actually listen to this almost every day because of different things that are really nice having an HD radio. And it's kind of nice at night if you DX the medium wave band. It will lock on a couple of stations, and sometimes even for a few seconds to a minute or two. You might actually even have some HD quality out of the signal. Honestly, it's a very good radio. It is a great performer on both AM, FM, and it is HD capable, so you can listen to the streams, the HD streams, when stations have them. Keep in mind that you have to be in an area where stations have an HD stream. So there's not a lot of those here. Here in Montreal, we have a few FM outlets that have HD radio streams. What is cool, and it's sensitive enough to do that, one of my preferred way of using this radio right now is that WVPS out of Burlington, Vermont on 107.9 is actually HD, and they have 24-hour BBC World Service stream on HD 2 or HD 3, something like that. So one of the HD channels off of 107.9 has BBC World Service, which I've been listening a lot on this radio. And of course, listening to WVPS also because I like the NPR stations. Local in Montreal, there's 107.3. That is an HD signal, which is Rouge FM. It has HD 1, which is CJAD 800 on FM, because CJAD 800 is HD, but not on their AM signal. They're HD on their FM outlet. And that happens a lot, by the way, of different stations that are HD, but on their FM sister stations. And HD 2, which is TSN Sports, TSN 690. So basically, that is 107.3. There's 105.7 that has an HD stream, but only of their main station. There's 103.3, I think, which is a station out in Longueuil, just the South Shore. They have their main station, and they have a country music HD stream. And there's CBC Radio Canada 95.1 that has the CBC, the main première chaîne in HD. And they have classical, I think it's EC music or classical music on the second stream. If you like classical music, that is also available. So that's pretty much what I have around here. On the AM band, there's nothing in Montreal in HD. Like I said, CJAD and 690 CKGM are both HD, but on the FM outlets. But at night, I was able multiple times when you orient the radio correctly to get a couple of seconds to a minute or two from time to time of HD coming out of some of the US stations, mainly WTIC on 1080 kilohertz. So, but it's a nice radio. But be warned that depending where you live, you might not have a lot of HD stuff to listen to. And unfortunately, right now we're in a time where it seems HD radio is not only not picking on, but a lot of stations just turned off their HD streams. So, but it is definitely a nice little radio. It's easy to use, not a lot of buttons, easy to use. You can have it scan for HD signals, and it's going to stop when it finds that one of the stations is in HD. So in a medium wave band, for example, at night, I'll let it scan the medium wave band, and it'll stop on one of the medium wave frequencies. It detects that there's an HD stream on it. Same for FM, and of course, there's the analog AM, FM bands that you can listen to it. It's a very capable radio and reception. It doesn't overload, and here, God knows that overloading is a problem. It seems to be a very good receiver in itself for an AM, FM radio. Small size, really easy to bring along anywhere. So it is definitely, I would recommend it. Comes with a power adapter, so you can actually have it as your kitchen radio if you want. Just plug the power adapter and listen in. It's one of those really good power adapters by Sanjian also that has the ferrites or torrid cores on the cable that prevents noise from getting into the radio. It's worth it, but like I said, in terms of HD radio, If that's the main reason you want to buy one of those, you might be disappointed if you're not in an area where there's a lot of HD stuff. If you receive the stuff from Montreal, you're probably going to lock on to some of the HD signals from Montreal, but on the FM band. And like I said, you can try to scan the AM band at night on with the radio and get some of the HD stuff. Tom DXer, WPE2QED, salut. Nice to have you on board from the Hudson Valley, New York. Signal Chalcedon, nice to have you on board. M1 MBZ, nice to have you on board from Southwest UK. We have Jay Watterson 69, nice to have you here. Mike Jam, nice to have you on board from Mount Washington Valley in New Hampshire. Michael Thompson, radio and coffee, that's perfect. I got beer. Here we go. Cheers, everybody. Charlie, W8CFO, nice to have you on board from Columbus, Ohio. What do we have? Canadian Prairie Shortwave, nice to have you here. René Charbonnier from Radio Classic Sunday, nice to have you here from the Netherlands. Christian Marcourt, salut. C'est le fun d'avoir un visage maintenant avec le nom. Nice to have a face with the name. He was part of the monthly CIDX Zoom meeting today. So it's always nice to see people in person and in video at least, and have a face that goes with the name when I go in the chat room. Is always a lot of fun. So Kamagzi 1976, nice to have you here. We have Shortwave listener, nice to have you on board from Breezy, Bolton, UK, M83303SWL. David, KJ4CMY, that I think I already said hello, but anyways, hello again. PLF Radio, bonjour, j'espère que ça va bien depuis Lyon en France. Toujours un plaisir de t'avoir parmi nous. Nice to have you here. Franco AC, nice to have you on board from the UK. No storms here yet. James Johnson, nice to have you on board from a hot Chicago, hotter than an old tube radio. That's hot. Does it have the smell that comes with the old tube radio? Imagine it'd be like, 90 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and it's like it smells old tube radio. Tarek, nice to have you on board from Cairo, Egypt. We have Keegan, X1080Xer, nice to have you here. We have Ari, nice to have you on board from Finland. 32 Celsius forecast tomorrow. Wow. That is hot, and it's 23 Celsius at midnight. That's probably very hot for your part of the world. That's for sure. What do we have? Let's go down. Let's go down. We have Gang of Four. Nice to have you here from New Hampshire. We have Jeff Williams. Nice to have you on board from Southwest Cornwall. Eric Cottrell, bonjour, hi, from a beautiful day in Boston. Busy couple of days with events. I have to leave for an in-person barbecue in an hour. Cool, have fun, and enjoy the weather. Nice to have you here. RTM, nice to have you on board from the Napa Valley, California. William Hampton, nice to have you here from Ohio. Nick Hammondud, nice to have you here from Romania. Darren Rogers, nice to have you on board. Yes, of course I still have the cat. He's just out, I think he's outside in the backyard right now. He spends, the summertime, he spends a lot of his days outside and sleeping in the grass. He's got his spot in the neighbor's yard under a tree, and he's going to spend like 4 or 5 hours just there, looking at what's happening around. And when he's hungry, he comes back. But absolutely, Paul the cat is, of course, still part of the family. MStax, nice to have you on board from Berkeley, California. And just speed watched the Wednesday stream. Cool. Franco, interesting video about the BBC Antarctic broadcast on Monday. Gilles, thanks for sharing that. I'll be tuning in. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit. Anything else? Just going to try to go down the chat room a little faster. Neil Rigby, nice to have you here from the UK. Catalin, nice to have you on board from Germany. iMapper, nice to have you on board from Moscow. Or I always said, every time I would receive a letter from Radio Moscow and look at how it's written, I always say, what's that? Radio Mogba. Radio Moscow. Oh, man. So welcome aboard from Moscow, Russia, my friend. Mad Radio DXer, nice to have you on board from the UK. Rufus Newt, nice to have you here. Rufus from the QTH of Laurentian Valley, Ontario. Appalachian Underground, nice to have you on board from Alabama. Arthur's Autocrafters Kitchen had a blast this afternoon in sunny Massachusetts, listening to the Panasonic RF2200 on D cells. Batteries, the way to go on these vintage sets. Yep. I still remember powering I went to a friend's house and powering my Realistic DX302 because it had the battery, the D cells it could put in the back, which I think was 6 D cells, and to power that thing. And they didn't last that long on the radio like that. I can tell you that for D cells. These radios are big and consume a lot more power than what we have today. So Darren Rogers, KB2AHS, Long Island, New York. Charity X, forgot about hurricane season. Yeah, we tend to not think about it in the northern places here. Although, here in Montreal, we sometimes get like the remnants of some of the big storms. And then we get like a day of heavy rain and wind. Yep, it is hurricane season. So it's time to make sure that you know all your references and frequencies. Frequencies also for the Civil Air Patrol and all of that. FEMA, Federal Emergency Management. FEMA is one of those users of the HF bands. There's a lot of HF stuff. You're giving me an idea, guys, that could be an interesting utility column for July, actually, to talk about hurricanes and what to listen to on the HF bands in case of hurricanes. That's going to be an interesting one. Yep. That's going to be a good one. Mike Jam, ever own a Reticus radio? I have a few of them. I have the one for the elderly, the TR618, which is decent. It's not a DX machine, but it's that one's a decent radio. Also has a MP3 playback. I have a couple other ones that are kind of really bad. One that I have here, the TR608, I think it is, the small portable, which is the worst crappy radio I've ever seen. Reticus is hit or miss. You got something interesting or you got something crappy. It depends what you're going to buy. What else do we have? Catalin will receive his Malshai DSP version. Can't wait to also purchase the MWA30 antenna from Greece. The MWA, the MLA from Greece. Neeson Greenwich, nice to have you on board from Dublin. 27555. Very busy in Europe now. Let's do a little, just a little check here if we hear anything. 27555 is the calling frequency for the freebanders. So when 11 meters is open, or when the Super Bowl Channel 6 is open, usually that's the frequency that you can tune to. Lots of transatlantic stuff also when propagation is good with the solar activity getting up. Um, Harry Holden, does your SDR Play RSPDX come with a warranty? And if it needs repair, where do you send it? So yes, it does. It like everything you buy has a warranty. The best thing is to buy it either direct from manufacturer or buy it from a local, like in the United States, ham radio outlet carries it. Here in Canada, you have Radio World in Toronto that has SDR Play devices like that. If you need to return it, it's really easy. And if it needs repairs, honestly, I don't even know if I've ever heard somebody have one that went berserk and didn't work anymore. These are all electronics and pretty sturdy too, in metal casing. But if it would really be faulty after the warranty, then best thing to do would be to contact SDR Play Direct and see what they can do about it. But buy it from a local outlet in your area. There's a lot of outlets, a lot of radio stores that carry SDR Play devices. Be very careful of not buying it on eBay or even Amazon or AliExpress, because there's tons of fakes out there, and they actually print on the box the details as if it was the original, the real thing, but it's actually a fake. You don't want to have the fake ones. You want to have the real one. That's very important. Tristan, nice to have you here from Newfoundland, Canada. Nice 27 degrees. Here it's about 26. PA1 SBM Alex, nice to have you here from the Netherlands. We have Philips Radio, HD radio broadcasts are only in Canada and the USA. So the HD radio format is Canada, USA, and a couple of places around the world. But let's, for the sake of it, it's pretty much North America. It's pretty much North America. Most of the rest of the world is using DAB. Mark Elford, nice to have you here from Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Oh yeah, when you have some HD radio content, it is absolutely neat. I am happy to have purchase it, because now that I have what's available in that BBC stream, it's really, really cool. David says there are not many HD stations in central Georgia, but there were when I lived in the Atlanta area. Yeah, and there's a lot of places that they had some outlets and they turned it off over a certain time. There were definitely a lot more of those, like 10 years ago than today. A lot of them shut down the HD radio. M-Stacks, comment on your Wednesday video grounding. At least have lightning arrestor in line to save your house and CB radio from damage. A surge arrestor also. What do we have? Yeah, well, we got to be. It's very important to understand one thing, is that if lightning hits the antenna directly, forget it. Nothing is protecting anything. Even those power bars that everybody buys that says, "Oh yeah, we're these are going to protect you." If you have a direct hit of lightning on the electricity in your street, that thing is worth zero. Everything's going to blow up. Whatever you use are not these power bars. It's very important to understand that. They are capable of stopping surges up to a certain level. They are zero effective against a direct hit. That's for sure. But definitely there could be some little things that can be useful, if the lightning is close. But the best thing if lightning is close is anyways to unplug the antennas from the radios anyways. James Johnson's got the HD radio. You think it's great? Yeah, it's a nice little radio, honestly, for sure. Jerry DX, thanks for sharing the Hurricane Claudette Gulf of Mexico information. 45 unit, nice to have you on board. And says was chasing around CFVP 6030 via online SDRs. Thanks for posting about them being back on the air. Yeah, they're back on the air since I think yesterday. I think it's since yesterday. So CFVP. One way to know if it's what you're listening to, apparently it's carrying the outlet of a AM station that has comedy stuff. So if you hear a lot of jokes and comedy going on, you're probably hearing CFVP. It's not very powerful, so hearing that station far away is it's going to be a big challenge. I'm going to try it here, but even when it was on the air in the past, I never heard anything on that frequency. And at night here we have, I think it's Radio Marti that's blasting away, which is not helping. But CFVP, which is in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and it's back on 24 hours a day on 6030 kilohertz. Art Dodd, nice to have you on board, Hart. K2ADC in New Jersey. Yep, there's the BBC and Antarctic Midwinter broadcast that is coming up on Monday. PLF radio. Yeah, I did a few already, PLF radio on the AM medium wave band, but maybe it's time for more of those and a little more of tuning around for sure. But I do have a few where I'm showing you guys. I think I have a couple where I actually locked on the HD signal of the station, and you could hear the difference between the analog and the HD signal on. I think I was locking to 1210 kilohertz. Keegan says my local NPR station KUAF Fayetteville, Arkansas 91.3 is in HD, and NPR station KWJS in Tulsa, Oklahoma 89.5 is in HD. What's nice with HD, even when it doesn't really lock on much, is that often you get already the details of like the call letters of the station, which is nice. Arturo, nice to have you here from the hot Grass Valley, California. We have Keegan can receive KWJS on the Sanjian HDR-14 depending on the area or spot that he is in. What do we have? Delphi Chariot, Liz Cameron here. Nice to have you here. And 6 RLS, nice to have you on board from Berkeley. It's nice to have you on board. Robin. We have Jeff in New Hampshire. Happy Saturday. KC1 NFB in New Hampshire. We have Mickey Dalmage. Bonjour. Nice to have you here. CFVP 6030 kilohertz week here. 300 kilometers north of the station. You know how much power it's running, Mickey? Just out of curiosity. Because I think it's weaker than the one than CFRX in Toronto, right? It's only a few hundred watts or something. It'd be interesting to know how much power they're using. What else do we have? Danielle Beller, nice to have you on board from Israel. Is it right if I walk the dog on one phone, your show, and the other on an online SDR? Yeah, of course. Why not? It enables you to listen in to stuff. Tim Lewis, nice to have you on board from South Carolina. It's Woo. Nice to have you on board from Lithuania. Vicky Pelletier, salutations. J'espère que ça va bien. Nice to have you on board. PLF Radio has weather warnings, heat wave, and storm. They often go together, heat wave and storms. Danielle says he's got 3 cats and a dog. Cool. Arturo waiting for rain in New Zealand on 13840 this afternoon in California. Absolutely booming in recently. Yeah, here it's the time of the year. On the East Coast, it's really the time of the year for Radio New Zealand, 13840 in the evening. Graham, nice to have you on board. The VE3077 SWL. We have DJK Solo. Nice to have you on board. Bobby Burgess is getting KPH clear on 12808.5. Let's check it out. 12808.5 CW. Am I getting it? Yep. It's not very strong, but it's there. So, Mavska. Yeah. Thanks for the info, Matt. I'm just going to do a little something here. Just needs to be a little bigger here. Harald Anderson, nice to have you here. LB1NH from Oslo, Norway. Nice to have you here. Always fun to have some Nordic countries. Nice to have you on board, my friend. Signal is from Istanbul. Alex, nice to have you here from the UK. M7MEX. Mark Alford, Gilles S9 Shortwave DXing on a 3.0 model NR4, 1959, 9 tubes, listening with 1922 Cannonball headphones. Wow. Warm, musty metal smell after 3 hours. Yeah, when you bring up these old tube radios, and especially when they haven't been used for a while, and you turn them on, it's that smell. I'm pretty sure we could be blindfold, get inside a room, and immediately notice, oh, there's some tube radios running here. Kathleen says Sony XDR-P1 DBP sells for 63 euros. I find it very small and nice DAB plus radio. So cool. Charity X has channel 6 active. David in Barcelona, Spain. ¿Cómo está mi amigo? If anybody is feeling like listening to soccer, Radio Exterior de España. James Johnson, you buy a $20 radio and they ask you if you want to buy the warranty. Yeah. Peter John Fetting, nice to have you here. DJK Solo, what am I drinking? I'm drinking there's a beer. FMR, which is made by the same company that makes Unibrew, that makes the Fin du Monde, and it is a sea buckthorn berry flavored beer. So this is what I'm having today. I ran out of vodka, so no vodka and cranberry today. So nice to have you on board, Peter John Fetting from South Africa, ZR6PCF. Are you often active on the amateur bands? I like, there was one guy, I don't remember his call sign, but there was one guy that was on 40 meters every evening here in the winter months, I believe. And I would listen to him almost every night. Found it nice to hear him make contacts. VT Radio, nice to have you here, Paul. AA1SU, checking in from Northern Vermont. And he's working the West Virginia QSO party. Still slow going. David KJ4CMY, does the HDR-14 have RDS? Yes, it does. Absolutely. Prashida, nice to have you on board. We have... What do we have? What else do we have? The Export, nice to have you here from Cincinnati. Harold Anderson has a ICOM 7300 and a solid state HLA 300. Made a lot of contacts with this. Cool. That's nice. David says he KJ4CMY drove past the Calgary station 50 years ago. He had a nice antenna system. Wish I knew more about shortwave then. Yeah, sometimes we see things. I remember passing by when going on a trip and passing by antennas that I learned later was used by the communication system of those kind of bush radios we have here in the northern Quebec regions. And at that time, that was the antennas operating from Bell Canada. Because at that time, you had to connect with Bell Canada that would actually connect you to a landline or someone you want to talk to. And I didn't know at all. And today I was like, wow, I passed next to these antennas without even knowing what they were. What else do we have? TIYX. What is a good antenna for the PL330? The first thing you try is a wire antenna. Try that first. And, it's inexpensive and might actually work well depending on the noise level around you. If that doesn't work, then your next best bet is an MLA30 loop. That is about $45-ish. That would maybe bring it alive with lots of signals. I know here the MLA30 works great on that radio. John Ritson, nice to have you here from the UK. 2E0JGR has been far too long since he was here, but he has returned. Welcome aboard. What else do we have? Carl Icon, what are the black waterfall signals with no audio on the Kiwi Web SDRs, like at 4950 kilohertz? The black waterfall signals with no audio on the Kiwi Web SDR. I would only... You see them on every Kiwi SDR or just specific ones? Because it could be simply some spurious signals from the receiver in there. I'd like to see, I would have to see an example actually to really know what you're talking about. Titus from Mombasa, Kenya, fan of shortwave radio and still listen today. Nice to have you on board, my friend. PLF Radio, thank you very much. Yeah, I got your email about that also. Thanks for the email. And also, I didn't know that places like Lithuania and so on had FM outlet going down to 64 megahertz. So thanks for the info also there. So, yep, we have a full review of the Texan H501X, a 30-minute video, actually, with pictures and talk about, and kind of a questions and answer thing also with Sheldon Harvey on our International Radio Report YouTube channel. Keegan says, I've heard Thropo and eSkip with just a rod antenna on the Sanjian HDR-14. And it sounds like a very, the way the many times I've used it, it looks like a very capable little radio. It's surprising. Jeff in New Hampshire, could I use the MLA30 with my SDR player's P1A by running a coax out my basement window and simply mounting the MLA on a tripod kind of deal outside? Would I have good luck with that? Yeah, you can absolutely run it with the MLA30 outside. Absolutely. That would work. That would definitely work. And if you have a hard time inside, it might be actually a lot better outside for sure. Dion, can I lift just a normal long piece of wire with helium balloon attached to an antenna tuner for better reception and transmission? That would probably work, yes. But it's the The problem with helium balloons is that you'll have to have quite a few because it doesn't show, but a cable, a wire gets quite heavy quite fast as it gets longer and longer. Sergeant Rock, nice to have you on board. And he's monitoring a local amateur emergency radio drill, getting ready for hurricane season. Cool. Thanks for being here. 73. Mickey Delmage, CFVP is using 100 watts at the moment. They have a temporary matching unit, so perhaps not getting all the 100 watts and could be intermittent. So, okay, cool. 100 watts. Wow, that's low power. That's definitely a tough DX target. Brad in Amarillo says 12805 808.5 CW loud and clear in Texas this afternoon. That's a Saturday only brand transmission, by the way, from Point Reyes, California. DJK Solo says sticking hot in New York today. So, yeah, we're not too hot now, but we're going to have some tomorrow and Monday. It's supposed to be quite warm. Dr. Sisup, nice to have you here. Says 11 meters, 27.555, free band active on upper and lower side bands. PD1JDW, nice to have you here from the Netherlands. Shortwave listener has 27.555 active on the U20 SDR. Mark Dreger, nice to have you here. Ricardo, nice to have you on board from Portugal. We have let me try to get down somewhere. So Sergeant Rock, yep, hurricanes, yep, absolutely. PLF Radio, Exterior España is broadcasting Spain versus Poland in soccer at the Euro 2020. Hans, nice to have you here. EA5 ITG. We have Paul, nice to have you here, checking in from Southwest Michigan. Cool to have you on board. James Johnson just purchased the MLE30 from a guy on eBay for $36 free shipping, and it came in 3 days. Cool. Nothing like a fast shipping. Nothing like a fast shipping. What else do we have? Scarlet Octopus, nice to have you on board. And we're talking about radio, and especially shortwave radio, which is receiving distant signals from around the world. Frank Ixon, nice to have you here, Frank, KF5BI from North Georgia. Radio Nut, in your opinion, what is the best portable shortwave radio for aircraft listening? If you're talking about aircraft listening for the local VHF range, honestly, all the portables are pretty much equal there. And I will tend to say that you're better off with a scanning receiver to dedicate that to listening. Because all the shortwave radios that do that are very slow scan devices. The only other thing you could do is, you could maybe buy a wideband portable, but those aren't as good as a dedicated shortwave portable in general. Like the ICOM ICR30. And that's if it doesn't overload where you live. It depends on your local stations and how strong signals are. But I don't think there is one that is necessarily better than the other for all the portables, the shortwave portables that have airband capability. The export. Anyone have a suggestion for a pocket radio that's good for good or fun to use for medium wave AMDX? Texan PL330. You'll be able to put a outdoor antenna on it for medium wave. So I think that would probably be a great choice. You have the internal ferrite, but would also have the capability of an outdoor antenna. Harold Anderson says, do you have 4 meters, 77 megahertz in the US? We use that a lot in Norway. No, it seems to be a European band only, from what I know. If we look at the VHF AM bands, that band seems to be mostly a European band. So if I look here at the band regions and stuff, yeah, it seems to be pretty much very high frequencies. So 4 meters, 70 to 70.5 megahertz. It says here. I'm not sure that is a band here in North America. Anybody can comment on that, but I don't think 70 megahertz exists in North America. Does it? TVDXer, what do you think of the Grundig G3? I never owned a G3, but from what I've seen is that it's not bad, but it isn't the best either. It's kind of a very average radio. Radio Nut says received his MLA30. I haven't had a chance to really work it out, but it works great sitting in the window here in the radio room. I have it hooked up to my old DX394 from Radio Shack. Cool. Mr. Potato Head, nice to have you here. We have Terry Cook, nice to have you here. KF7BQ in Western Montana. It's Woo says got a Trivi MB728 AM FM shortwave radio that I bought for €12. Pretty good radio for the price. With luck, indoors with a wire antenna, you'll get about 12 stations for more. For some reason, I found 0 reviews of it. There are some radios that are like there are some radios that are difficult to find any information on them. Terry Cook, there are some remote broadcast links using it in the US. Okay. Because I don't think it's a band that's everywhere. 172 watching. Cool. Mr. Potato Head bought a Texan 330 on your recommendation, and I can say I'm impressed with it so far. So thank you for that. It definitely is an amazing little portable. I can tell you that. Texan PL330 is an amazing little portable. For the price versus performance, I don't think you can get anything better. It definitely is an amazing device for the price. Glenn Zeckman, nice to have you here from Tennessee. JDA Dakota, nice to have you here. So from Wentzville, Missouri, nice to have you here. And so a few little things I wanted to talk about. We have, like I said, the reactivation of CFVP out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We have also coming up on this coming Monday the BBC midwinter broadcast for an Antarctic broadcast. So the frequencies for the BBC midwinter broadcast coming up is, let me just give you the got the frequencies right here. Never find what you want when you need them. So we have 4 frequencies officially for the BBC Midwinter broadcast. But the other active frequencies at the same time will have also the relay of this, but it's going to be a little shorter. So on Monday, this is a broadcast that actually goes out to an audience of 35 people in Antarctica. And basically, it is, of course, every year in the when it's the winter solstice down there in Antarctica. So on Monday, June 21st, 21:30 to 22 UTC, it's a half-hour broadcast. The frequencies to tune are 6035 kilohertz from the Bahia, which I believe is from the United Arab Emirates transmitters, 6170 from Ascension Islands in the South Atlantic Ocean, and from Wolverton, UK, 2 frequencies, and these are going to be the ones probably to check out for here in North America, 7305 and 9505. So that is coming up this Monday at 21:30 to 22 UT. It's always fun to listen to. It's very festive and very, very nice to listen to this broadcast. It will also be carried on most of the World Service frequencies. And at that time, the 2 outlets that are going to be on, 11810 and 12095 from the Ascension Island Relay. And that frequency is going to be late by about 2 minutes. A little short news bulletin before they go into the broadcast. So this is going to be interesting to check out on this coming Monday. Also, if you guys want to, listen or decode pictures of slow scan television, there's a event coming up with the ARIS amateur station aboard the International Space Station. So this starts on June 21st, this coming Monday. So somewhere after 0940 UTC, when they're going to start activating the station, and going all the way through June 26th at 1830 UTC, they will be sending continuous slow scan TV pictures on 145.800. 145.800. That's the 2-meter amateur band. You need a VHF receiver, portable scanner of any kind. It's easy to listen to. The space station needs to be above your head when you hear that because it's line of sight. So you'll have to check out when the space station is actually going over your city or your area in order to listen to those. I'll be posting some of my decodes that I'll be doing here on the VHF UHF channel. So that's going to be interesting to check out. They have a series of 12 pictures that represent a little bit of history of the amateur radio aboard the amateur radio in space, basically, in the past, from the space shuttle, from the old Mir Soviet space station, and of course aboard the International Space Station. So this is going to be fun to check out. And so 12 images will be kind of, going through a schedule. So the fun of it and probably the challenge will be to get all 12 pictures. Once again, 145.800, 2-meter band is where it's happening. Plus or minus Doppler shift because the International Space Station goes really fast in space. There's always a shift in the frequency. So 145.800 and something 805 to 145.795. That 10 kilohertz space is where the signal is going to kind of go through. Any portable scanner, is capable of 2 meters VHF. Is capable of receiving this. It's actually quite easy to listen to, the SSTV. So you don't need fancy outdoor antennas. Of course, that helps in having a better signal. But just your portable scanner with the little rubber ducky would be enough most of the time to actually get surprisingly clear signal of the International Space Station. So that starts Monday at Monday, June 21st, goes all the way through Saturday, June 26th. And frequency to listen to is 145,800. The mode used for the slow scan TV is PD120, Papa Delta 120, and it's an FM signal, so you don't need fancy equipment. Like I say, it could be very, very easy to listen to. I'll be posting videos of my own reception of pictures on my VHF UHF channel coming up. What else do we have? What else do we have? What else do we have? So Titus Oper from Kenya says he's got access to a basic national R305B. Thanks for your expertise. Thank you very much for being here. Nice to have you on board. Jetcrafter, nice to have you on board from Southern Maine. And a happy Father's Day to the radio dads out there. And Kathleen says, the people living in Antarctica says, Jill is out there. PLF Radio, Jill, will you do a special show here during the BBC Midwinter broadcast? Probably not. If I do, it would be out of the blue because I got a lot of stuff to do this week, so I probably will not. But I probably will post at least if I get it here, I'll probably post a video or something of the midwinter broadcast coming up. Glenn Zekman's going to happen on my birthday. Cool. The export just purchased a Sony SRF-49. It's on the way. Looking forward to see it, the X capabilities. A lot of old bulletin boards online that have good reviews of the SRF series. John Beckham, nice to have you here from Florida. Better late than never. Absolutely. The expert says, Jill, it would be really cool if you capture the SSTV live. Yeah, unfortunately, the SSTV passes here will be in the morning. So it's going to be close to impossible for me to do anything live for that. Because I remember, you guys remember that, we actually decoded some live at some point. So this is going to be interesting to see for sure. For those asking, those asking, this is a channel that I don't do a lot of stuff. But this is the link to my VHF UHF channel, and I will be posting videos at least of what I'm capturing, that's for sure. Matt, going to have to keep pestering the ARIS folks until they start using a different mode. It's funny how that mode results in 7 copies of some images and maybe just 2 of other images. Yeah, it happens very often that you get to the passes and it's like, yeah, I always get the same things. I don't know why they don't change. It'd be fun to have them actually use some other mode for sure. Matt says, well, look for the BBC Midwinter broadcast in the U20. Not likely copy in Colorado. Yeah, here on the East Coast, it's possible. Well, the MLA30 James Johnson works is rated to go up to 30 megahertz, so it should technically be an okay antenna on the CB band for sure. So, yeah, absolutely, Jason. V9 JMC. Actually, they do the 12 pictures in a row all the time. What happens is that the timing of the signal and the timing of the passes every like 90 minutes does result in a surprising amount of time when it's always the same pictures. It's kind of a timing, the bad timing thing. That's why maybe using another mode would actually help in getting some other. I'm going to try to get 12 pictures. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but hello, my friend, whatever name that is. Where are you located? Matt says he did email a ham who's a spokesperson for Aris, and he said he'd pass it along. I suggested also that they could lengthen the off time by a few seconds, and that would probably stop the repetition. Yeah, it's really a question of it's really a question of it's really a question of timing, honestly. So the mode is PD120. Mode PD120. That's the mode that's going to be used for the images that they're going to send. And talking of SSTV, I got quite a few pictures last night. There's a lot of people on 14-230, so pretty crazy. Robert Osborne, yeah, well, if you speak Spanish, Radio Exterior de España is probably broadcasting that for sure. So so now someone from Russia. Yeah, well, we have iMapper that is in Moscow, Russia, also, basically. So lots of little stuff happening, like you see this week, for sure. Matt says it's just a funny thing how the ISS orbit and the timing of PD120 mode and the timing of their off time to keep duty cycle under control all combine to repeat just after one thing, and it should stop. Yeah, it's probably not something they actually wanted to do. It's just that it happened to just all the timing was like that. Pretty cool. John Beckham, any idea what station might be broadcasting on 13590 around 02 a.m. Eastern Standard, which would be 6 hours UTC, as I couldn't make out the signal. Let's check out the frequent, what's broadcasting there at that time. 13, 590. Let's check it out. Control F. So, according to EIBI Space, there's the voice of Iran that is there at that time. If it sounded Arabic, it probably was the voice of the Islamic Republic of Iran, as they are broadcasting at that time. So that's the station that would be there. So if you hear it again and it sounds Arabic, it's Iran broadcasting on that station, for sure. Mobile Armored Strike Command, ARIST SSTV Award does have a certificate if you receive only one slow scan image from the ISS. Cool. Yeah, they often send, they had an event, what was it, last week? I think they had an event with SSTV from Russia, and for Russian people also, because sometimes they do have that moment where they're trying to broadcast to Europe and Russia. Jim Young, nice to have you on board. W5JVY. And Matt says, I'm way into these ARIST SSTV campaigns, but usually I have to tune into every single pass if I want to. I want clean copies of all 12 images. Yeah. Export. Has anyone heard Radio Review Bureau on Shortwave? Yeah, absolutely, John. But the voice of the report of the week is always is there. I heard him last night, and then I switched to I switched to Radio New Zealand. I don't know if you guys heard Glenn Hauser this week. Boy, he sound weird with his voice is all funky and bizarre. Really, really weird voice. I think he got a cold or something, but man, that was something. That was something. Let me check something here. We're gonna check out if there's anything. I like to do these little pre-om number station thing. So we're going to keep an eye out for any number stations from Russia or something. It's always fun to tune around. So what else do we like? Mobile Armored Strike Command says, I do like the International Radio Report. Yep, nice show. For those that don't know, me, Sheldon Harvey, and me are co-hosts of the International Radio Report. Plays on ckut.ca because it is a show. ckut.ca. It is a show on a local Montreal station here, campus community station, which is CKUT 90.3 FM. And it is every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. That's 14:30 UTC. You can live stream from there. You can live stream from any apps. You just search for CKUT 90.3 Montreal. And what happens is we have a YouTube channel. That YouTube channel you can actually subscribe to. And we have on that YouTube channel the show available roughly an hour after it is aired on the station. We have the YouTube channel that goes with it, which is youtube.com/international radio report. And I'll share the link to this channel. We have a special edition this week where I review the Texan H501X portable receiver, and there's lots of pictures, and it's kind of in a questions and answer format. Sheldon asking me some questions, and so if you want to see what's all about the International Radio Report, you can check it out here. And there's also a Facebook group for International Radio Report where we post all the links to everything we talk about, so you guys can go and check it out. So, of course, our show is queued up to play tomorrow on CKUT. So hope that you enjoy the show and that you continue following us either by listening on CKUT. There's an archive on CKUT of 3 months of shows. YouTube channel is nice because we have whatever shows and how long the shows are going to be. I have yet to create the videos for some of the older shows for last year because we have more than a year of shows that I have stored on my computer. And basically, it's a great show that talks about radio events, both local radio events here in Montreal and international radio events that are happening of all sorts and stories. So check it out if you're interested. It's, I think, a neat little show, 30-minute show. And we have that every week. We record it on Friday afternoon, Montreal time. And then I do the editing and send it to CKUT, put it onto the CKUT computer for playback on Sunday. So I hope you enjoy that, which is very nice. Another thing I'd like to talk about, we had a Zoom meeting today talking about a club, and the Zoom meeting is for the Canadian International DX Club members. Canadian International DX Club is a club that talks about radio. It has a monthly Zoom meeting for all the members. It is a club that deals with all aspects of radio. I'm going to post here the website for that, cidx.ca. It is a general radio club, so you can actually, you'll have there's stuff for everybody in there, from amateur radio to the basics of what radio is all about, with the radio basics column, to loggings. We have Miki Dalmage that has the very interesting column that is about QSLing. I have the utility column where we talk about different aspects of everything that is utility. This month, in the June bulletin, I talk about some of the Russian utility signals and military signals available. There's, of course, radio reviews. There's technical talk stuff. There's all sorts of really neat information in there. So I think it's worth it. And if you have never asked for a sample copy of the Messenger, it's an electronic publication every month. You can actually ask for free. So you can go here, Messenger, just ask for CIDX Club at Yahoo.com. CIDX Club at Yahoo.com. I just posted the email. If you've never asked, it's very important, because if you asked, Sheldon will know you asked for a sample copy in the past. But if you never asked for a sample copy, just send a little request to Sheldon at that Yahoo email address, and you will actually get the bulletin. You'll be able to see what it looks like, and it's a beautiful publication. Once again, just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like, here's a cover page of this month's bulletin, which is right here. So the World of Utilities, that's my column. So this is the cover of the 72, 73 pages we have this month. So lots of stuff to talk about. So this is the second page with all the columns. So to give you guys an idea, there's a headquarters report, board of directors report, radio basics, broadcast band DXing with logs, very interesting QSL, the world of utilities, shortwave logbook. There's a free radio scene for pirate radio. There's world of radio information with the DX program guides, shortwave station resources, not just listening, which is a nice add-on. It's everything radio that you could see in TV shows, movies, and so on. Podding along, which is everything that is podcasts and streams that are available. Technical topics. Eric Cottrell has the ham radio news and news, CIDX news and notes, what's news, and propagation reports. I mean, this is a very, very well done, professionally made bulletin. Why not ask for a sample copy? And if you join, well, you know what? You'll be part of a club. You'll be able to join these Zoom meetings every month. And I hope that you check it out at least. I mean, it's a neat little place to be, and you're part of a gang of radio. 10544, guys. 10544. It's a Russian M12 Morse code number station out of Moscow, Russia. 10544 CW or 10543 upper sideband. Not a bad signal here. So that's the M12 number station out of Moscow, Russia. Yeah, me too, Matt, MDK2. I kind of I remember now. So every Thursday night, I always tune Voice of the Report of the Week, VORW. Catalan says, thing about our hobby, you can get the images from the internet 100% clean, but nothing beats the feeling that you can get when it's live, just you and the satellite. Absolutely. It's a thrill. It's so much fun. And thinking you're receiving a signal from space is kind of cool. M1MBZ says, heard voice of report of the week on WWCR 4840 also. Yeah, I believe there's, I think that's a new one, a new hearing that they have. Gary, 24 fan. Nice to have you on board from Fort Fairfield, Maine. Thank you for keeping the hobby alive. Well, happy to do so, man. M1MBZ says, I hope to try to hear VORW via WRMI on 15770 on Tuesday. I think it's at 2 p.m. UTC, 14 hours UTC. Mark Cope, when I heard Glenn Hauser's voice this week, I thought something was weird with propagation or my radio had a problem. You know, at first I thought it was a computerized voice. Pretty crazy. Mobile Armored Strike Command, you had a guest on recently named Peter Laws. I have met him 3 times in Norman, Oklahoma. Did not know that he was originally from your neck of the woods. He is highly intelligent in radio. Yep, great guy. It was a lot of fun to have him on. And actually, we're going to have him on again. He's got so much to talk about with radio. The guy is super interesting, and we'll have. We're thinking of either having him on the show again in the regular show, or maybe having a special edition on the YouTube channel, and have Daryl maybe a little more time for a one-on-one talk and chat of the radio hobby. He's got so much to say. It's really a lot of fun. Christian Marcoux, the sound of the Texan PL680 versus PL330, much better or just a bit? It is a little better, but you know what? The PL330's audio is actually quite surprising. You know what? I'm going to take note of that, and I'll create a couple of videos that you'll be able to watch and make yourself your own idea of how they perform the PL3 680 and 330 in audio department. Paul, going to set the RSPDX to record this. Excited as I never caught SSTV on UHF using Black Cat's SSTV. Yeah, it's on. It's going to be. It's a lot of fun to do. It's a lot of fun to listen in. The export, Jill. Do you turn off the trolling on the live streams? I can't seem to get the chat if I missed the live stream. No, I don't turn it off. It's supposed to be there, even when you are. I'm going to check out for the chat log, but it's supposed to be there when you are watching the show, the recorded show. This is weird that you don't see it. But I'm gonna check it out just in case. But it's supposed to be on. It's really supposed to be on. Just want to make sure that because there's nothing special here, but it should technically be on. But I'm definitely going to check it out and make sure that it works. Because last time I checked one of my live stream, I could see the chat was going. So no. Anybody else has problems seeing the chat when the stream is recorded? John Beckham, am patiently waiting to receive my COADON D808 on next Wednesday. I will let you know how I like it. Cool. It's going to be fun to have that comment for sure. David, KJ4CMY says, really like the International Radio Report, especially on YouTube. And the YouTube one has, added bonus, a little bit of pictures of depending on what we're talking about. Keegan XN80Xer also likes it on YouTube. Hey, William Helms, nice to have you here from Florida. Paul says, CIDX newsletter magazine is great, very cheap, and worded in his opinion. Cool, thank you. Hector Vasquez, nice to have you here from Los Angeles, California. Mark says, CIDX newsletter is everything you want and more. Get it. Robert Osborne picking up a good signal on 11610. Don't know if it's CNR or BBC, but don't recognize the language. 11610 at this time should be coming from Madagascar. What you're getting is the let me just check to make sure here, but 11610 is 21 to 22 UT is the light of life. It's actually the Mandarin Chinese KNLS Alaska broadcast or relay via Madagascar. That's what you're hearing. So it probably sounds like Mandarin Chinese. So it's Madagascar World Voice Broadcasting. It's actually a rebroadcast of KNLS Alaska via Madagascar relay. That's what you're probably hearing. It usually gives a pretty good signal here. Jason, V9 JMC. That one is coming in good. Forgot I'm on my FM antenna. Got to switch over to my long wire. Frank, nice to have you here from the Netherlands. Chris, anyone ever tried a Watkins Johnson HF1000? I have one in my shack and use it on occasion. Apparently, it's a pretty amazing radio. Gary, 24 Fans, says I'm picking it up very clearly here in northern Maine on my Sony Shortwave 7600 JR 10544. Great little portable you got there. Paul, 10544, barely making it to the MLA 30 in Michigan. Hey, Rob, nice to have you on board from Connecticut, W0RAB, the blind picker. Matt says no signal for him on 10544. Tony, greetings from the city of Cork in Ireland. Still daylight here at 10:25 p.m. Looking forward to the BBC World Service Antarctic broadcast next Monday. That's going to be pretty cool. The export, you would be a great leader to bring in all the different radio guys on YouTube together for an all-star live stream. There are several that come to mind, but I don't want to advertise them here. We are in the process of looking at all the people we could actually invite on the show. And we have a lot of people. Sheldon knows a lot of people too. And there would be a lot of people that would probably be very happy to join the show. So we're gonna check that out. And we're kind of getting the hang of doing regular, doing some regular special editions of the International Radio Reports. So hang in there. We're going to have some stuff, that's for sure. And we're going to have some people to interview. Tony, PL330 battery charge seems to last for ages. Funny thing is, if you take the battery out of the display, the display stays on for ages too. Yeah. There was no chat last Wednesday. Okay, I'm going to check it out. Maybe it's a glitch of YouTube, because YouTube has a lot of these glitches. So, I'm going to check it out. And if it's not there tonight again, I'll make sure that it's turned on, because I think I can't turn it on once the show is going. I have to make sure that it's on before. Getting the radio TV guy. Hey, arriving late, just getting ready for a barbecue night. Cool. It's funny because last time we talked about barbecue, I think it was last Saturday, I said I was making chicken burgers. I like those so much on the barbecue that I'm actually making chicken burgers again tonight. So 10544 is M12 Russian, Moscow, Russia, number station and Morse code. James Johnson, never seen the chat when it was recorded. Okay, I'm going to check out. I'm just going to make sure that it actually is working, because usually the chat should be there once the show is recorded, so you guys could see all the stuff. Paul says, what's the bottom half of my shirt? So this is a shirt I got from one of the viewers, which is for me and Paul the Cat. So let me just try to not break anything here. So it's me and Paul the cat, and it says "Best Friends for Life." It's a cute little shirt. And so it was offered to me by a guy we don't see much anymore on the chat room, but he used to be here all the time. And he had asked me, he says, can I have your postal address? I got a little gift for you. And I got this shirt in the mail. It's kind of cute. Christian Marcoux, blushing. If you're going to do a video of the sound of the PL680, PL230, can you throw in the PL380 for comparison too? Whatever you do, absolutely. You know, I'm always looking at things to do on videos. So yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do that. For sure. Tony, Gilles is in flying form tonight. I've been, you know, like almost 3 hours in a Zoom meeting before with the CIDX club. So it's like it's camera day. I'm having a lot of live stuff today. Let's check out in a minute 14541 upper sideband. There's supposed to be some radio teletype. 14541 upper sideband. It's supposed to start in about a minute. And we're supposed to have some kind of radio teletype signal. That also comes out of Moscow, Russia. Log 2112, nice to have you here. Frank, I started shortwave listening again with my Kinwood R5000. Last time was in 1991. I didn't have an antenna, so I took Shell advice and bought an MLA30. Works good, so thanks. Cool. Happy to have you in the MLA30 club, and it works fine for you. Tony's Tones, Russian number station 5 to 9 here in Great Britain. So nice to have that there. You guys in Europe probably hear it much better. G4UAM. Anybody hearing that 14541 upper sideband signal? Not hearing anything here. Not hearing anything here. John Beckham says, I'm all receiving a Madagascar relay from Alaska on 11610. Yeah, that one's pretty good usually. 11610. Let's check it out here. If I can hear it. Yeah. So that's KNLS Alaska, relayed by the Madagascar World Voice 11610. It's in Mandarin. Incredible thinking that from here in Montreal to the Madagascar relay, it's like almost 14,000 kilometers distance. Arthur's Other Crafters, we're going to check that out. I think it would be fun to have different people on and talk about their passion for the radio hobby. So don't worry, we're gonna check that out, and as time permits, we're gonna try to have and contact all of you guys that want to be on, and we'll check that out. Chris, nice to be here and love the stream. Please keep doing it, especially like the comments on the radios. Cool. I will. Thanks for the comments. Yeah, a lot of people from the Netherlands, eh? PA1SBM. Alan Eldelman show. Hello from Charlotte, North Carolina. Signing up for the big night of shortwave exploring. Your show is like a pep rally for DXing. For your information, you can leave out the show part when saying my name. It's just Alan Endo. Yeah, you know, it's okay. No problem there. So Tony says, "Oh, great shirt." Yeah, it's a nice shirt. It's funny because kids get attracted to it. When I go out for something and they're kids passing by, they look at my shirt and they're kind of attracted. It's like, they're wondering. And I'm thinking, are they making the link that I might be Gilles and that Paul might be the cat, my cat, David KJ4CMY says, lots of radio people have cats. Must be a connection somewhere. Yeah, because we all get lonely with our radios, so we need something, and cats are perfect for that. I think there's it's not just cats. I think it's cats and dogs. We're just animal lovers. That's all. If you guys want to try another one for Morse code Russian, if there is traffic, 9344 CW or 9343 upper sideband. And this one is in 2 minutes time, so it's not on yet, but in 2 minutes should be here. 9344 CW or 9343 upper sideband. So just punch that in a couple of minutes. And that's if there is traffic, which means the previous message has to say that there is traffic. Joe Michaels, nice to have you here from London, Canada. Do you have your ham license? No, not yet. I came close. I actually had sent my email to get a registration for it in April and never got news back. So I'm gonna check out what I could do this later this summer and fall to get my ham license for sure. Chris, another Ethan satellite receiver. I would love to hear more about it. I got several of the Grundig satellite series. So, which one are you talking about? The Canadian Radio TV guy says, I read on a shortwave post today that Ethan is planning to release a new elite satellite shortwave radio this year. Was delayed. Yeah, it was the one that was delayed last year, I believe. Pretty much. Vicky Pelletier, on what document were you just relying for the frequency listening suggestion? Oh, here it is. Moscow, Russia. Pretty good signal. For those wondering, I'm using the EIBI space, the Priom website, PRIYOM.org website. And it gives you the lists of upcoming number stations. So this is what I'm using for the information, and it has extensive information on all the number stations, their locations, what they sound like. Some have really weird schedules. Some are voice. It's nice to check it out for sure. TVDXer picked up some E-skip into central Indiana on Sunday morning. Strong lock on WISH-TV 8 for a couple of hours. Oh, wow. That's cool. That is cool. Darren Rogers, cats rule. A friend of mine had a cat for a long time with the same fur color. Hey, Sheldon Harvey, nice to have you here from Greenfield Park, Quebec. Nice to have everybody here. Tony has 3 cats. I can almost say I got 2 when I look at the fact that there's that stray cat coming over. Jerry says cats don't talk back. Mickey Delman, Jill, not sure if you're set up at the moment for the SDR in Alberta. CFVP booming in at 2130 UT. Let me just turn my chair a little bit because I'm kind of stuck. There we go. So 9344 coming out of Moscow, Russia, working. Let me try, let's try that out. I'm going to go to the Kiwi SDR page. And Kiwi SDR. Kiwi SDR. I'm going to try it out here from the Lamont, Alberta SDR. Oops, that's not what I wanted to go at all. Kiwi SDR page. What is it? It's Kiwi SDR dot. I hate Bing. Yeah, of course. So here we go. Receiver. Search. V6. Let's check it out. So from the Lamont, Alberta. Check it out. Six 030.
Something has gone wrong.
Look at that.
This family has gotten to know their AC technician.
That's the CFVP.
I'm Kyle Lumsden from
Calgary station and the Lamont, Alberta Kiwi SDR.
But once we're done fixing your problem, that should be it.
6030.
No coming back to fix it again. No follow-up.
Pretty good signal.
No vacations together.
I'm Melanie Lumsden. At Clearview, we're happy to see you. But seriously, just the once.
Chad's a great guy.
Chad is a great guy. But if he'd done his job like we do at Clearview, you'd never know what a great
Definitely
guy
a comedy station.
Visit justcallclearview.ca. Just the once.
Once in a generation, a film comes along that changes.
Seems to be slightly overmodulated.
Life for this. Chadwick Boseman.
We can no longer stand in the shadows.
Marvel Studios, Black Panther, Sunday at 7, only on CTV.
CKMX AM Calgary, the best stand-up comedy 24/7. Funny 1060
SoCal,
AM.
nice to have you here from
iHeartRadio
California,
station.
AJ6II.
In Texas, they were having nickel beer night. It sounds like a good idea, right? Nickel beer night? Are you into that? It's a good idea until you got to go home and you're hammered. And the bartender is like, hey, get home safe. It's like, dude, we're drunk. It's
Frank
nickel
is
beer
hearing
night.
9344, RTM, very
He's
faint.
drunk too. He has nickel beer night.
Tony, Morse code 9344, powerful over there.
First of all, you guys drink a lot here too, but you're smart drunk, seriously. Because last time I was here, y'all get drunk.
Cool,
drinks,
Mark.
in your car
Just
at
got the
same time,
PL330.
You can't catch all of us.
Nothing like opening a new radio while watching the live show. Canadian Radio TV guy, 9344 CW fair signal in Alberta. Getting interference from 9350 in AM mode. So that was CFVP out of Calgary. And 9344 still going on with the number station. MDK2 says station in Denver relays the same comedy network. I forget where it is. Maybe 94.1 FM. Canadian Radio TV guy, 603 megahertz is back on. Yep, it is back on. Canadian Radio TV guy. Got to check my radios here. It's a relay of 1060 AM, the funny, in Calgary, Alberta. Transmitters are located by the Trans-Canada Highway. So, yeah, they're back on since yesterday, I believe. 6030 CFVP with 100 watts-ish. So, yeah, if you're hearing the Device 9 station from Calgary on 1060 kilohertz with comedy, it is what 6030 is relaying. Yep, 9350 is WWCR. Absolutely. So kind of interesting to see that they're back on and it's actually working. Probably don't have much sporadic e-skip here because my Uniden Bearcat 980 SSB has been scanning all 40 channels and never stopped on anything pretty much. So I guess there's no skip happening here in Montreal. Gustavo Bernadez, nice to have you on board from Venezuela. Cool to have you here. Hope everything's all right. And Kathleen says, I am on the North Pole, turning around with a 6-axis 3D space mouse in Google Earth. Cool. I like to go to Google Maps and Google Earth, checking stuff when I tune in shortwave and want to see an aerial view or satellite view of something. Sometimes it's going to Street View, see if you can see antennas in by when people tell you, oh, the antennas for this or that transmitter are besides this road, trying to see if I can see them as if it's like traveling there somewhat. It's kind of fun to check it out. Really kind of fun to check it out. It's interesting. There was a discussion today on the so there's there's always these little moments that come up and are a little tense where people talk about SDRs versus radios and there's we all like different types of radios. Some people don't like SDRs. It's fine. Some people love SDRs. Since I have mine, I got to say, I don't use my ICOM much. But it's fun to tune around with radios with knobs, definitely, and even old radios and stuff. But it's interesting how some people are really, really very, they're totally focused on, well, SDRs, it's a waste of time. I don't want to see pictures. I want to know about it. I don't want anybody to talk about their SDRs or show a picture of their screens. And it's sad because I think it's a big misunderstanding of exactly what an SDR is. Because most of the comments I see when people are in that mode are people that, no, you don't understand. You have no understanding exactly of what it is and how we use it. People are stuck on the visuals and you're looking at a computer screen, but we're listening to a radio. When I'm tuning here, you guys, I make you hear what that is on the screen. It's not just a question of visuals. It's a question, we're listening to the radio. And very often in SDR, you listen. You're not always watching the screen when you're in SDR. If I listen to Radio New Zealand, for example, with it, I'll leave it there on the screen, but I'm not going to watch the screen. I'm not looking at a screen. It's not TV. It's radio listening. But where the screen becomes your friend and really, really is nice is when you're DXing, for example, or searching for that unusual signal that you in a frequency range. Well, now it's cool because that visual here is going to show you everything that pops up in certain frequencies around where you're listening, or even bigger if you put a bigger bandwidth. And I think that's where people miss out. They don't understand this. Somebody posted a comment saying, well, using the ATS scan or the ETM scan is the same thing. Nope, you have no idea what you're talking about when we talk about SDRs. It's not the same thing. When you do a ETM scan, you're going to get the stations that the radio received. Here, I'm going to tune and I'm going to see signals that your radio didn't even stop on because I'll see them on the waterfall. It's a very different thing. It's interesting how it's such a heavy, I like it or hate it thing when in reality it's radio. And, I was looking at a comment today and I'm like, yeah, I left it there, but it's the kind of comment and it's the kind of thing of, well, the guy saying, I don't want to see no more SDR pictures. Well, I'm sorry, but radio is radio. And if what you like in radio is an SDR, I'm not going to tell you not to do that. It's what you like in radio. And in SDR, there's, I think, too much misunderstanding of what it's all about. And I'd say it's even to a certain point for some people, almost a war to win. Let's kill those SDRs so that we get radios with knobs again. I don't get it. I don't get the passion that gets to that extreme of I hate SDRs or not. It's very weird. Honestly, an SDR is nice. It's great. I would not want to not have one anymore. But if you like radios with knobs, it's fine. I don't. There's no competition. It's just that people that use SDRs, we see the added benefits of so many features that radios don't have. Radios with knobs do not have. It's all, and it's a radio. And there's so much, it's not a radio going on. It's like, please, it's a radio. Stop saying it's not a radio. Well, you listen with your SDR, it's cheating. What's cheating? This is a radio plugged into my antenna outside. It's as worth it as a reception, of a signal as anything else. It's very, very bizarre how the passion is so crazy, extreme between SDR haters and SDR lovers and radios with knobs. And, all I have to say, and the only thing I would like to add as a comment is radio is radio. It doesn't matter. You like an SDR? Cool. Have fun. You like radios with knobs? Have fun. You like an old tube radio? Have fun. That's all. We all listen the way we want to listen to. But it's not up to you to say, I hate SDRs and everybody that posts SDR stuff. Well, maybe you shouldn't be part of a radio channel in the first place if you're not happy with that. Because, there's all sorts of things like that. And, I'm open to every type of radio. I love my SDRs. I love my portables. I use them all the time. You've seen a lot of videos with portables lately. It's funny how I can't understand how that extremism in hating SDRs is so big. It's almost as if they're offended that we're listening with an SDR. I don't know. It's crazy. Mike WDX15, nice to have you here from Northwest Arkansas, Canadian Radio TV guy. I could imagine it would be pretty hard to hear CFVP with Radio Marti on 6030 in the evenings. Yeah, Radio Marti is definitely going to remove that signal from our possibilities. Chuck Yunkin, nice to have you here. Radioactive KF70LY, nice to have you here. Says there's some 6-meter FT8 now in the US. Cool. Tony, I think SDR is great. Having great fun with SDR and lately the Malachite. Albert Strike Command talking about how Madrid Deep Space Network getting some Voyager signal. That's some DX. Canadian Radio TV guy says 6030, stronger than 1060 here in northern Alberta right now. Dave, I love it all. SDR, analog portable, digital portable. They all give unique experiences. Absolutely. Absolutely. What else do we have? Sheldon Harvey, do you prefer the spectrum display or the waterfall on the SDR? I prefer to have the waterfall because of the signals will appear there and it's easier to especially when a signal is weak. It's much easier to pinpoint it in that waterfall than it is to pinpoint it when you're looking at the spectrum display. The spectrum display is nice because you can see the peaks and how strong the signals are, but the waterfall is nice because in that when a signal is in the noise floor in the spectrum display, it's in the noise floor. It's in that all those random peaks at the bottom, where in the waterfall it actually is visible within, especially when you start playing around with the I need to put the more waterfall on this and a little less spectrum, but it's definitely easier to see a weak signal, for example, show up there. Jason V9 JMC, SDR comes in handy when you're signal hunting, as you can see a specific chunk of bandwidth. Absolutely. For DXing, I mean, so many signals I would never have heard if it wasn't the fact that someday I'm tuning around and I see this little signal pop up out of nowhere. Something that you'll totally miss out on any radios with knobs, because you don't know that a signal just popped up a little, a certain frequency. Same thing. Somebody says, well, you just tune around, you're going to get the same signal. No, because when I tune around my ICOM, I might be passing by that signal at a time when it's not transmitting. But because I have a waterfall here, I can actually see it go through, and I know that there's something there, and I can just click on it. I'm not going to miss it. Tony says the visuals of the SDRs are really cool. I love traditional type radios, but the SDRs really level up radio and keeps our hobby so interesting. Absolutely. It's an added bonus. It's something different. It has another side of our radio listening experience. Dirk Boone says, SDR Uno user here, incredible to use. Tony says the recording of the spectrum on SDRs is amazing. Catalin, the Malachite is an SDR with not saved playlists in the Malachite. That's a good question. I don't know. John Beckham, yes, I like SDR too. Gary 24 fan, I need to do some research, but I may eventually go with an SDR someday. As you said, it's still a radio. It still tunes in, and you have to find signals. Hector Vasquez, SDR and non-SDR radios all serve a purpose. Yep. Frank, I looked at a couple of Kiwi SDRs on the web, and it's cool. Catalin says it still surprised me how a crystal radio works. Absolutely. And it is still amazing, even today. Hector Vasquez says he even loves pocket radios. Like 2112, who could possibly dislike SDR? I used to use my R75 as primary until I was introduced to the SDR thanks to VA2HRT. And, that's the thing. It's I got a big gun ICOM ICRD 500 here. And I got to say that, and I know I'm not alone. A lot of you have fallen in the same category of, well, since I have my SDR, I almost don't use that radio anymore. It's crazy. Call Icon says it's like comparing typewriter to a computer printer. You can type a letter with either. Yep. Tony says as long as it's got radio in the name, it's going to be great. Absolutely. The thing is, it's not, it's what I find mysterious here is not that you like radios with knobs and don't want to use an SDR. I get it if you tell me, looking at a computer screen is not my thing. But when you say that, I also would like to go and say, well, if you're listening to a program, you're not looking at a computer screen. Your program, you're listening. You do other things with it. It's just that the signal is visible if you want to take a peek at your screen. It's not just looking at the screen. It's as if one of the things I noticed for a couple of comments, it's as if people think, well, I don't want to sit there and watch the screen listening to radio, Exterior de España. No, you're not watching the screen if you're listening to a program. You can have that playing and you do something else. Here what I do, this TV and the SDR, what I do is I have computer speakers, or even sometimes I'll actually send it Bluetooth to the text and receiver with the computer. And what that does is that if I want to listen to just a program, so say I want to listen to Radio Romania, I'll have that playing in the speakers, and I can actually go and choose, an app in the TV to do things, or just, browse the web or whatever, do something else. And you don't have to. There's this obsession from some, I think, is that, well, if I listen to Radio Romania, I don't want to watch the screen for an hour. Well, you don't have to. You're listening to Radio Romania. Listening to Radio Romania. That's the thing. I don't know. It's as if people just don't realize, well, it's a radio and you're listening to signals, but it has the added, I can look at the display, see if there's anything unusual that's going to pop up in, somewhere on the spectrum, which is crazy nice, De-axing, tuning around. An SDR beats a regular radio for tuning around. And the reason is simple. You punch in a frequency. So say I want to know what's happening on the 20 meter band. I'll punch in 14,200, put myself in upper sideband. I can expand if I want more or less of the 20 meter band, but I see signals of amateurs that are talking in single sideband. You can see that there's some FT8. You can see all the different little things with, all the signals here. So you're going to say, well, if I tune with a portable radio, I'm going to have the same signals. Yeah, except an example of amateur stations is that they're intermittent. They talk, they don't talk, they talk, they don't talk. Well, here, even if it stopped talking, I still know that there was a station on, say, 14,225. If you tune with the regular radio, you pass by, you hear nothing. So, there was nothing on 14,225. I know there was something there because I could see it. So I know that it's possibly still there. It's just that maybe I'm not hearing the other station and so on. So, I don't know. I'm not here. I don't want to convince people. This is not a prep talk. I'm trying to convert you in the church of the SDR. So, let's all pray for SDR God. But I'm just giving my opinion, and I'm mostly baffled with people that seem to be so intensely haters of SDRs. That's where I'm trying to find. Well, I don't get it. Why do you hate SDR? What is it that you hate exactly? You hate it because we understand it and you don't, or what is it? I don't get it. What is the problem? I'm trying to assess why it should be that you hate an SDR. I don't get it. I can get it that you love your radios. I can get it. You might say, looks nice, but I'm not interested in that type of thing. It could be, I'm not very good with computers and, it's kind of intimidating and I'm not sure I want to go there. They're all valid reasons. But just going on and saying, I don't want to see people's SDR's pictures anymore. It's like, what? What are you talking about? There's nothing different showing a screenshot of why I'm listening here than you guys posting a screenshot or a picture of your portable radio listening to a signal. There's no difference. It's no difference. It's funny. It's really funny. That's the where I don't get it. AE1TP, A92GW. Tom, nice to have you on board. Thank you very much. 73. Paul says, I was a traditional radio guy in the 70s, 80s. SDR is what got me back into the hobby. I will likely be getting a transmitter again soon. John Beckham, yep, crystal radio is truly a marvel, utilizing the electromagnetic waves for sound. Yep. The Device 9 RSP1A is the best radio I've ever used. I just put a 200 feet perimeter loop antenna. Pretty incredible performance. I'm hearing stuff I never heard before. need a switch to send it to my tube set too. Dirk Boone, I use the SDR player SP1A with the ML830. Great. David says, personally, I gravitate more towards analog radios and electronics simply because we're currently so surrounded by digital gear that seeing a device work without bit streams already feels almost unreal. Vicky Pelletier, I totally agree. A waterfall is a good indicator for where to go, especially for as a newbie. Yeah, it's the idea there is like David likes regular gear, and that I find totally correct and totally cool. It's the same thing when I use a text and receiver. If I use any other portable radio, if I use my ICOM, of course there's some magic. There's something special with that. Where I'm getting is more, it's not I prefer using that than an SDR. Where I'm getting is mostly I just don't get the hate that people have against them. Denon71, nice to have you on board from Australia. Mark Alford listens mostly to 1916, 1926 radios, a few 1950s radios, and enjoy the SDR handhelds. It's like the Russian-China fighting over Malachite. It's very bizarre. Maybe go for a walk and shake your head. Yeah. I got so much hate mail. It's like, why did you buy it from China? It's a copy of, hey, guys, I don't care. I want to have fun with a radio. I don't give a F about that. It's my decision, and I got the Chinese one, and that's it. And there's no discussion anyways of that at all. I just have it. I'm using it. I'm having fun with it. I don't care about the rest. It's just every time I see something like that, it's like, please. Like Mark said, go for a walk. Do something else. Seekers. MDK2 says the SDR thing just shows how some people fog their gatekeepers of radio and feel entitled to tell you how to enjoy the hobby. It's funny that they use PCs for everything else, but not radio. Yeah. I put it at the same category as of amateur radio operators that went completely mad because they removed the CW requirement for the tests. John Beckham finally picked up 9344. Cool. Yeah, usually that's what I have. It's just that I've, I don't know, for a while I've been using it like this and just didn't think about it. Mobile Armored Strike Command. Usually I have them half and half. Paul says the SDR tech is amazing. You can use someone's antenna on the other side of the world. That's also another thing that's kind of nice. One of the things that I will say is you don't have a radio. Well, you can use an online radio. You don't have one. It's still somebody joining in the hobby. They don't have a radio, but it might actually make them want to have a radio in the future, David says, having said that, I still don't dislike digital electronics, such as in SDRs, because of their advantage in receiving signals, especially if they're weak, because of the visuals, the extra filtering options, stuff like that. Absolutely. But that's fine. Hey, Kevin Wood, nice to have you here from Nova Scotia, Canada. Jerry X says high five for all fathers in the chat. Yep, Father's Day tomorrow. Helen Endelman, what's my first 2 transistor radios as a kid? The first one I've ever had was a Ernie and the Bathtub AM radio. That was given to me as a birthday gift by my sister. I was probably something like 7 or 8 years old. And I still remember it. I still remember using it quite a lot, being amazed that I was listening to radio with it. I I sometimes get tempted when I see one on eBay. I'm like, Ernie in the bathtub. Maybe I should buy it. And that was my first radio ever. One that is, I don't mention it much here. I think I'm not even sure I've talked about it. When my dad started the construction of the shack up north, I was about 10 years old, maybe a little earlier, 9 years old. My mom had a battery-operated portable AM/FM radio. You know, one of those vinyl radios that has a snap in the back. You can open this, open the snap, and it opens that panel, and you see the whole circuit board. And the idea behind it is that you could change the batteries like that, but you could see all the circuit board. I like that because I like the fact that I could look at the electronics of the radio, which I found fascinating, that all of that and all of these little parts on the board were giving me radio signals. And the main use of that radio back then, and I still remember, was to listen to Expos games on CKAC in the 730 back in the 70s. So we would go up north and we would listen to the baseball games. But I remember that when nobody was listening to the radio, my mom gave me permission to play with it and tune around. And I would remember I was tuning around, trying to see what stations I could get up there, up north. And of course, I didn't know shortwave at all at that point. Shortwave was unknown to me at that point in time. So I would tune around the AM band in the daytime. And I remember wondering why there were so many more stations in English in nighttime, but not really. It's interesting. I would not, for some reason, I was maybe not yet interested enough, or I don't know, because I was too young. I would listen to them, but I would not focus on where does that signal come from, really. But I don't remember the brand. It was a very simple AM/FM radio that worked on batteries. It had a, I remember that in the front it had a silver plate with the tuning button that had on one side the AM frequencies, on the other, and underneath the FM frequencies. It was transistor. I could not tell you what, maybe if I would see a picture of it, I would like, oh, that's the one. But I have very little, I don't know what brand it was. I remember there was on the tuning dial, AM, FM, there was silver on one side, blue on the other side. I don't know what that was as a radio, except that it's AM, FM, battery operated. So that technically would be the two radios that I started out with. And then, of course, had multi-band receivers. My dad bought one of those cheap branded multi-band radios in maybe 1980, 81. So I was 11, 12 years old. That impressed me for the first time because I could hear airplanes from the airport. And that was kind of cool. And I would amaze my friends because all my friends would say, you can't listen to airplanes. That's, encrypted and private stuff. And it's like, one day they're all gathered and I put the radio on the frequency and it's like, this is Air Canada 645. And they're all like, that was Air Canada plane? That's just, because here we have a corridor. Planes are passing by all the time. And I was like, look, there's the Air Canada plane that's right there. And man, they were amazed. And of course, I was amazed too. It was my start of listening. And I remember listening to the Montreal Police on VHF around 154 megahertz. Once again, don't remember the brand. It's one of those that had that flip up panel with a world map and had that thing called SW1, SW2 that I had no idea what it could be. But my real big start in radio really came in 1982, August of 82, with the DX100, realistic DX100. For probably a different reason, I wanted that radio. And I thought, well, it looks cool and it says listen to the world and whatever, mixed in with the fact that the manual, even though very small, it was just a few pages, was actually explaining to me what I could hear on this radio and where the frequency ranges I should tune to. And of course, with the fact that there were so many things there, I mean, I turned on the radio and the first few signals I heard, Call Israel, Radio Moscow, what else? I don't even remember, but that first evening I heard at least a dozen English language broadcasts. I was like, wow, this is so cool. I'm listening to Radio Berlin in East Germany. This is so cool. Radio Moscow from the USSR. This is so cool. So that's kind of my early days of radio. I remember the multiband radio. I would tune around everywhere where I could hear only static constantly. That showed my curiosity for radio, because I would tune around there constantly in frequencies where I would never hear anything, because somehow I was conscious that maybe I hear nothing now, but maybe at one point I'm going to be tuning that same range that I never hear anything and suddenly hear something. Some of it was intermittent, of course. So I heard something because they were talking when I passed there. Some were, for example, I remember hearing the first broadcast of the VHF marine weather broadcasts for the St. Lawrence Seaway. That was 24 hours, but I was always doing my listening in the same place. I would never get it. And one day I sat down in the backyard with the radio. And when I passed by that frequency range, I heard that broadcast, because there I could receive it. At the other place, I could not. And I mean, I look at the performance and how they receive signal. They were kind of crappy and insensitive. They were not sensitive at all. But they were what I had, and it's like everybody. And when you're a kid and then a teenager, you use whatever you have. Oh man. Robert Osborne, there's nothing wrong with SDR, dude. Personally, I'm into all kinds of radio, CB radio, GMRS, shortwave. Yeah, absolutely. It's whatever we use and we have fun with. Chris Alpha Tango, nice to have you here, and 3WER. Good night, Catalan. Nice to have you on board. Robert Cross, hey there. Nice to have you here. RJDA Dakota, SDR is just a tool to help you see what you are trying to find and tune. It's a radio just with a better readout to actually help you find what you're looking for. Absolutely. JRDX loves SDR. Radioactive, lol, Church of the SDR. Neeson Greenwich says, Marine Rescue going on here in Dublin, channel 67. Oh, wow. Comexi 76, give the SDR God all your radios. Erica S, nice to have you here from Norway. Carl Icon SDR, another tool in a radio toolbox, doesn't replace a portable, which comes in handy when you want to go mobile, or the power goes out. Derek Boone, precisely, the waterfall leaves a slug trail, even if no transmission at a particular moment. Priceless. Yep. RDX SDRs are beautiful. RJD Dakota says, some are just afraid to change things. Some are just afraid of change in general. A D808 is some like a computer control radio in SDR. Yeah, it's, I don't know. Chastank, nice to have you here from Louisville, Kentucky. Like 2112, with SDR, I not only actually see what I'm hearing, but I see everything around it. Yep, absolutely. You see things that you'll not even know that, it was there. An example is, you might be tuning your radio with knobs and just the frequency display. might be thinking, tonight is kind of boring. I'm not hearing any DX. And you turn off the radio, but the same guy, another guy to the same frequency range, maybe for a moment saying, yeah, not a lot going on, will see something pop up and click on it. While the one with radio with knobs is going to have missed that there was a signal not far off, and that suddenly your night is going from it's average to this is so cool, I'm not hearing that. And the person with the radio with knobs will have missed it because you don't know that just maybe 20, 30, 40 kilohertz away, something was happening. So there's definite advantage to an SDR, you know. But I totally see, you know, why people also would just love radio with knobs, and it's totally fine. Like I said, I'm not trying to sell SDR here at all, but it's just trying to have people understand why an SDR is making a lot of us very happy as radio fans. And it's a radio. Dave, I have deep affection for old analog sets with big knobs, big speakers, and big batteries, but I appreciate that these old sets will fail and more difficult to tune than modern digital sets. Yeah, and I mean, you know, we all like a different aspect of our hobby. But like I said, what I have a hard time is not, it's not that I want, you know, I don't like, or it's you know, like I said, it's just, I just don't understand why you would be mad at people that loves SDRs, you know. RJ Dakota, PL330, very good radio. Found a thing on that I've never heard before. It's an amazing radio. Well, apparently the Malachite from the one from George, there's a new version now. There's like the version number 2 of that radio is now available apparently. Oh yeah, RDS on FM is absolutely a lot of fun. You know, I do find that they should do that with the Texan receivers. PA1SBM, I don't need SDR, but I am in IT. I try to keep my shack as analog as possible just because I'm behind the computer all day. Yeah, and that also is something that I can understand. You know, you might not want to be in front of a computer screen all the time. That's also a very definite thing. You know, I'm in front of the computer screen all the time. For some reason, personally, I've never, because it's so funny. When I was a tech guy, people would ask me, so what does the tech guy do when he's not working, fixing our computers? And I would just look at them and say, I'm playing around with my computer. And they would start laughing. And it's like, really? You don't take some time off of computers? And I would always go, well, no, I don't mind because I love computers. But I definitely know also that there's a lot of people that when they spend a lot of time in front of a computer, they want to see something else. They want to do something else, which is definitely fine. Cuban spy numbers on 17480. A lot of people were wondering if they had gone missing for a while. Signal is there, but I'm not hearing much. That doesn't seem to be any audio. Check it out here. Is there anything else from... oh, if you guys want to have another Russian one in 5 minutes, 9323CW. 9323CW. Or 9322 upper sideband if you don't have CW. So 5 minutes, guys. 9323CW. You know, they're going to be happy now. Everybody that listens to these numbers, and they're going to like, oh, you know, don't use a radio. There's that guy on Saturdays that from Canada that hears them all. Just tune to his live show. So Jetcrafter's hearing 17480 Cuban Spy. Mark Elford, I had a hand-sized 1967 toilet with a speaker. When you lifted the lid, 9-volt battery. Still works. Oh, wow. Mike WDX50 bought a J transistor AM radio on eBay, which was the same model as my first radio back in the 60s. Nice memories. Oh, wow. Doug Smith, C. Crane just sent me their 2021 catalog. What do you think of their shortwave radios? They're fine. If you buy a shortwave radio from C. Crane, you're going to have a great radio. That definitely. Nothing bad to say. Canadian Radio TV guy says 6030 CFVP is now a weak carry on VE6JY. It's interesting to see how propagation changes. Pretty cool. Tristan, I've been having some trouble with an Onco, problems with shipping. Tried again today to order R9700. It will not ship to Newfoundland, and it will not give any shipping options. Very strange. That is weird. You don't even have a shipping option. That is weird. Let me try something here. I'm going to go Onco. Because if I go to an Onco, okay, I'm gonna click the same radio that you have and see if I can get it shipped here. So the R9700. Check it out. So I go here. Okay, add to cart. Add to cart. You know what's dangerous with that, guys? Is that I can go add to cart and then decide that I'm going to buy it. So add to cart. Okay. That's fine. So I'm going to go to checkout. Oh, wait a minute. It says my cart, it has empty. So add to cart 1. Oh, you got to select something here. Select source. No external power source or China standard. No power source. Let's choose that. Add to cart. Proceed to checkout. Okay. Checkout. And checkout as a guest. Okay, let's just do this. Guest. Continue to shipping options. Okay. Shipping options. So they want to ship it to me. They're giving me they're only giving me one option for shipping though, and it's a FedEx Express. So the FedEx Express is actually 2 times the price of the radio itself. But they are giving me an option for shipping. It's just they're only giving me FedEx Express. That's all. So it gives me a radio that would, an R9700DX would cost me $83 US, which is 120 Canadian dollars, which I would not pay for that radio for sure. So it's interesting, huh? And you got absolutely no shipping possibilities. John Beckham, my first shortwave radio was a vacuum tube set made by a company called Monarch. It was truly a great table unit. Cool. I remember I've seen that brand at some point. So are we hearing it? Yep. 9323 M12 Morse code station from Moscow, Russia. Coming in. So what else do we have? Yeah, I do find C-Train a bit overpriced also, but it's okay. It's okay. Steve, I'm having fun with the new Coodon D808. It actually scans on the airband and it works great. Oh, it's exactly like the XH Data D808. It's a nice radio. It's actually a great radio, actually. Joe Michaels, best radio as a kid was my Radio Shack realistic long range AM radio. John Beckham used to enjoy listening to the old CBC out of Montreal and the shortwave bands. Oh, man. I need to post it. I came across old videos on a DVD that I created many years ago. It has a dozen videos of Radio Canada International, including 2 for the Northern Quebec service on 9625. I need to post that as memories of the past of Radio Canada International. Chas Tank as a kid playing on with the huge stereo, early 70s. At the end of the dial, I got my first CW signal, a beacon. I was hooked on the mystery of radio. And not counting, my mom had a clock, one of those clock alarm radios from Candle, which was known as the cheapest brand you can have. And all across the medium wave band. And my mom would sometimes come up to me because she knew I started listening to radio and stuff. You'd listen to an AM station and you'd hear Morse code because there was some kind of image from, I don't know if it was amateur band. I remember once recognizing it, and it was the CFH Halifax Morse code. And it was over a station my mom was actually listening to. I was like, oh, wow, that radio has such a crappy AM radio that it actually receives shortwave signals on it. Lock 2112, AL141A on 14710 IDs as YVG out of Caracas, Venezuela. Interesting. Interesting. JD Dakota was a kid. My parents had a big console radio that was a big piece of furniture. It had shortwave on it and used to tune through a lot and heard quite a bit. A huge Magnavox. Hey, Jason Melbourne, nice to have you here. Vicky Pelletier. J'ai écouté il y a très longtemps avec la radio de ma voiture en été le soir. Les stations éloignées, les ondes passaient assez bien. So Vicky was listening to distant AM stations on her car radio at night. That's kind of cool. We sorry guys, my dad's boss had a really nice shack up north. In their living room, they had one of those big wooden cabinet furniture radios. Unfortunately, it didn't work. When you turn it on and do nothing. But boy, I would look at it and it's like, oh man, if this thing would work, I would love to hear what I'm getting on it. And I remember it had shortwave bands on it. And because it was not my place and not, it was my boss's shack, of course, you don't play around with it because it's not your stuff. Paul had an Emerson AM portable radio with a reddish leatherette cover about 1968. 7 years old, I would fall asleep using it and drain the battery. To this day, I fall asleep listening to the radio. That's cool. You know, radio can be very comforting. I remember in the 90s, I had I became sick somewhere in 19. You know, one of those moments where it's kind of stressful moment about your health. I became sick around 1993. I was lucky because I was in between two jobs. I became really, really sick, and I was like so tired that just getting up from bed to go and pee was a extreme event. And I was sick for, like 6 months. Worst part is, I don't know how many doctors I saw. Nobody knew what I had. And they were having all sorts of tests, and nobody nobody came up with any ideas. So it was very stressful because it was like, man, I'm not crazy. I know what I feel. And I remember at night being stressed by it, thinking, what about if, when we are very sick, we start, it's easy to go back and go in dark mode in our brain. And I thought, what if it's something that nobody sees and, I'm dying or something? And I remember I would turn on my Kenwood R5000 and just listen to some stuff on shortwave and let the radio play while I was in bed. It was like comforting. It was like a presence. It changed my mind off of whatever is happening. And even though I didn't feel, because I was so tired, I didn't actually feel tuning around and listening. I just tuned something that was in a language I'd understand and sounded interesting and leave it there. And often fell asleep at that. And slowly I came back. And I'm here to bug you guys now. Candy Glass. I don't understand why people would be mad about people that like SDRs either. But you get people that get mad about people liking things they don't. And about any hobby, sadly. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Sometimes, you wonder if it's not, jealousy also sometimes. There are people that are jealous of other people for different aspects of what happens, Chaz Stank had a paperette as a kid, found a patrolman type radio that was thrown away, broken antenna, fixed it, and still works. Cool. That's fun. All right, Dodd, show the thumb drive style SDRs. Are they okay as a startup, or should I take the plunge and buy a more robust SDR? Sorry if you answered this already. Look, it's not that. If you get a real deal RTL SDR dongle, the V3 version, okay? If you get the real deal, and that's very important because there's a lot of fakes of this out there. It's not that it's bad. It does the job of shortwave and stuff okay, but if you're not tech savvy, first you got to deal with the fact that you plug this in, need a special driver. When the special driver is installed, then you can use the software, and it's an extra step. And if you're not tech savvy, it could be a tough step. Plus, well, it does have a lot of images and stuff so it's okay, but I would definitely tell anyone, you know what, get started right. If you get an SDR Play RSP1A, which is still, and for me, is absolutely the best entry level, good SDR. You plug it in, you install SDR Uno. Well, actually, you install SDR Uno before, then you plug it in, then you start the software. It works out of the box, no tweaking, no going crazy. Then what you'll have to do is simply learn how to use the software to tune it around. But I would, although I'm not going to poo the RTL SDR V3 because it's decent, because for the price that it is, which is like $25, $30. Yeah, don't go for the $5 or $10 dongle. That doesn't work for shortwave. That would be a bad choice. But I would go for RSP1A directly. Less hassle, less problems. Jetcraft, your audio stopped just a minute before I tried. Kevin, nice to have you on board. Just spared his Sony headphones with his SDR. Awesome sound. Take that old school only. The other day, I actually was using the SDR here and was receiving a signal. And because I couldn't, I was in the kitchen and using an outdoor antenna was kind of a difficult thing. I simply sent the audio through Bluetooth to the speakers of my Texan H501X. Sounded amazingly good. I'll tell you that. It's, what else do we have? Anything else? Frank can hear the CW station. No, it seems that some people are unable, because it all has to do with the COVID thing. It seems that some people are unable to get shipping because of something related to COVID from an onco. Clean Radio TV guy says the alarm function on my Ethon Grand Edition satellite has been acting up lately. It will turn the radio randomly to FM and sound like it starts automatically tuning around for a few seconds. Strange. Remove the batteries for 24 hours and put them back in. It could simply be the CPU that's a little, Keegan X1080Xer says, toilet radio takes on another meaning depending on the program or what passes for music today. Tristan says, I don't do FedEx. Maybe it's Newfoundland government and COVID-19 restrictions. Maybe it's for the best. Shipping costs at twice the cost of the radio. That's crazy low. Thanks, Joe. $56 of shipping for a radio that's $300. That can go. But $56 for a $27 radio, that's a different game. John Beckham, remember the bells playing before? Yeah, the interval signal. That was the Radio Netherlands interval signal, which sounded like what? Do I have my? Don't have it. Oh, it's here. You mean those bells like this? It was Netherlands Radio Netherlands. Not working. Radio Netherlands. Why doesn't it play? That's interesting. They're not playing. Oh, there we go. Famous interval signal of Radio Netherlands. That was something we would hear a lot on the shortwave bands. David McCormick, nice to have you on board. Enjoy the English service of Radio Slovakia via WRMI relay last evening on 5810 using the PL330 with whip antenna. Cool. Charles Williams, weather on 13089 and San Diego. They're talking about British Columbia and Alaska. Oh, you're probably getting on 13089. 13089, you have different stations. One of them is in 13089. You're getting the one in, maybe it's the Point Reyes, California one. It's probably giving you some of the up to Alaska coast stuff. 2230, 2305 is when they're playing. So that would be just right. Point Reyes, California. I'll try it out here. I don't know if I can hear it. 13089. Doesn't seem like it. So I would guess that's the Point Reyes, California one. Well, Canadian doctors in general are good, but the one I had, or the ones that I had that time, is wasn't that great, or maybe didn't have me pass all the tests that I should have had, because Canadian doctors are pretty good. What else do we have? Canadian Radio TV guy says, got an RTL SDR for Christmas and still haven't set it up. It's still here on my desk behind my laptop. Yeah. John Beckham, are there any new pirate stations on shortwave bands out there these days? There's tons of them. It's just that they're mostly broadcasting music, but there's tons of them. I can tell you that. Laugh a lot. Yeah, WTWW and WRMI are two stations that do play a lot of music on their broadcasts. For sure. Thomas Olson, big hello to you all. Happy Father's Day to your dads. Yeah, Radio Netherlands. Yeah, Radio Netherlands, interval signal, and all of these is so amazing today. Versus Alicrafter's Kitchen says, Radio Netherlands interval signal always made me think of Count Dracula for some strange reason. That's weird. RJDA Dakota, Radio Netherlands is first QSL. Wow. It was amazing what we had. Yeah. Pretty crazy. WYFR Family Radio. Yeah, that was, do I have it here? I think I do. WYFR. Well, that was WIFR. How about it's funny how, you know, stations that were like Soviet era Eastern Bloc countries and came out of their interval signal can change. This is Radio Tirana in the 1980s here. That sounds very harsh Soviet. And today, It's a lot softer. A lot softer. One that I liked that was kind of soft, and they had programs on Sundays only in English, which I always found weird. Radio Norway. That was weird. HCJB had a... This is an old one. No, that's not HCJB at all. I took the wrong one here. Sorry, guys. That's NHK. I lost HCJB. Here it is. Wait, let me just restart this thing here. HCJB Ecuador. Oh, this is weird. It's mixed up. Deutsche Welle. Swiss Radio International. Swiss Radio International. Swiss Radio International. Didn't I have that one here? Oh yeah, it's after. It's here. There was Radio RSA you guys are talking about was this one. Swiss Radio. And then we had what do we have in here that is interesting? Radio Denmark. Radio Denmark. I liked Radio Berlin's a lot. Oh, Call Israel was very distinctive. Call Israel, do I have it here? So, Call Israel. That was so, these are so harsh. So weird. One that I did like was Argentina when they were... I don't think they play it anymore now that they're relayed on WRMI. Some souvenirs of the past here, guys. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Yeah, Radio Sweden had quite a few interval signals over time. It had, so if you look at it here, Radio Sweden. There's this. But there are older ones like Radio Sweden. There's this one. Radio Australia. This one was, I think this one was older, was slower than the one that we had in the later years. Hello, Joe Sombrano from Brazil. Nice to have you here. Daniel, nice to have you on board from Baltimore. Lots of interesting old school interval signals back then. Pretty interesting. And man, souvenirs. So, hey guys, I'm going to say goodbye for tonight. I had a almost 3-hour Zoom meeting with CIDX, and we've done pretty much 3 hours here, almost 6 hours in front of the camera is a lot of time. So I want to thank everybody for being here, and hope that you enjoyed the show today. We're going to be back, of course, next week with the 2 shows in like we have always, which is a Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 0 hours UTC, Thursday for most people. And we are going to be Saturday also at 4 p.m. Eastern, 20 hours UTC. So now I'm going to head on to the barbecue, make myself a nice chicken burger, a nice crispy chicken burger. And then we're going to go back to the radio and probably post a few things that I listened to on the Facebook group. So I hope that you enjoy the show today. And if anything interesting, I'll be posting. And of course, I'll be posting tons of videos during the week as usual. So I hope that everybody enjoyed. Stay safe, my friend. Hope that you will be back. And it's always fun to do these shows. And 6 hours in front of a camera. So this is pretty cool to be here. And some people want to have Moscow nights. So let's go for it. Before we leave, Moscow Nights was, of course, played often before Radio Moscow's broadcasts back in the days. So, let's check that here, midnight. Whoops. Take care, everybody. Love you all. Danielson, hello there from Australia. Love you all. Stay safe.